Hello. So, I meant to film this as an actual video today, but I lent my mini SD card to Lena, who's gone out with the mini SD card, and I don't have another one, and my GoPro will only work with a mini SD card. So, it's just a microphone video today, but that's fine. I'm sure next time I'll be able to film with the GoPro paired with this microphone, but for today, it's just some audio. I wanted to talk about the fact that a month ago, probably just over a month ago now, roughly a month ago, I deleted all of my social media. Now, I'd already deleted Twitter in 2019 because, well, I'll get onto why, but I'd already deleted that. A month ago, I deleted my Facebook and I deleted my Instagram, which means that I'm only on YouTube now. I had a B reel for a little while, but I think that was it. I don't think I had anything other than that. If I do, then it's a dormant account. Oh, I've got a Pinterest account. I don't know how much that counts. A lot of these social media platforms are sort of lumped in together. Pinterest feels fundamentally different to other social media platforms, and so does YouTube, and I'm going to talk about that today. So, first of all, I want to talk about why did I delete my social media? I think a lot of people that I told about this were shocked. Why would you do that? Why would you remove yourself from the grid? And in a nutshell, I was just so sick of myself. I was so sick of not being able to control how much I scrolled. It was worrying me. You know when you catch yourself? Have you ever had that? You've been scrolling for too long and you catch yourself and you're like, oh my God, how long have I been sat here just being like, oh, just another one. And I just couldn't stop myself from doing that. For me, the big moment when social media stopped being fun was when they introduced Reels, basically when TikTok started getting big and everyone duplicated that sort of short form video function of TikTok. And, they did it because it works, and it did work. But I felt like I just couldn't control myself sometimes. I found myself in a doom scroll so often. And I tried lots of stuff to stop, and I just couldn't. I tried uninstalling the app. I tried only accessing the app from desktop. I tried giving myself a token and saying to myself, oh, only on the weekends you can use it. And yet still, somehow or other, I would find myself, reinstalling the app for work or something, and because my job revolves a lot around social media. For those that don't know, my full-time job is basically editing for Lena, my partner. So I needed access to social media for that. And to be fair, I still do, but I have a dummy account now, which is basically one that I don't have any preferences set. I haven't liked anything, so it doesn't serve me anything, and I don't have it installed on my phone. So I do still have a dummy account, but it's just so different when you're not constantly served things, and if you log in, you're just going to be greeted with a blank dashboard, which is essentially what happens now. I've only got it on my computer. I log in and I go straight to Lena's profile to check out whatever video I've edited for her, make sure that it's all running okay and seeing what response it's getting. And then I don't get distracted from anything, and I much prefer that. So, interpret that how you want. You could interpret that as oh, well, he's still technically on social media. To me, it's just a completely different ballgame now. Not having my own social media profile anymore that I have had since, I think I was about 17 and I'm 30 now. 13 years of having this social media profile on Instagram, and even longer for Facebook, I think. Obviously, they know what I like, and they serve me the kind of things that interest me, as they do with everyone. And I just couldn't control myself. And I hated it, and I got sick, and I kept saying to myself, oh, I'd really like to delete it. At one point, I even created a private profile, so one that wasn't accessible to everyone, where I just had a small group of friends that could follow me on Instagram and just shared photos of my life from there. And yet, even that still managed to become addictive. I tried not to scroll too much on that, but yet they just sort of learn, And so I got sick of it, and I had a moment, I had about a year where I was considering deleting it. And then a friend of mine sent me a message on Instagram saying, by the way, here's my number. I'm coming off of social media. I'm not having fun. And I thought about it for about a month after that, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the same. I think it's time. On my main social media profile, I posted my photography, and for a long time that was important to me, sharing my work with people. But I guess my goals in life have changed. I don't really care whether people like my photography in the way that I used to. It's obviously nice when people watch my YouTube videos when I talk about my photography and they comment on it. But this idea of like, oh, if I'm just on Instagram and I share my work, maybe the right person will notice me, or, maybe there will be some fans of my work. And I don't know what it is. I just don't care about that anymore. And I had 3,000 followers, most of whom I think followed me because of Lena. Lena has a much bigger social media following than me. That's actually how we met. We both met on YouTube because we both made YouTube videos. But she's way more successful than me on it, which is why I work for her. Because I've got that skill set, and because we work really well together, and because her channel is the bigger channel. I feel like I get a lot of the hit from posting out of when Lena posts something that I have worked on with her, So I feel like the goalposts changed, my goals and what I wanted out of social media changed. And then I was just sort of left with this whole, well, I've got these 3,000 followers. Oh, it would be nice to hold on to that in case I want to share something like some work that I've created. Some cool people follow me on here as well. And I've also got this private social media Instagram page that is nice to share photos with friends. But I then started thinking about all these platforms, Facebook and Instagram, they're sort of like a bulletin, where it's the illusion of being in touch with people. People will share like a bulletin from their life. Here's what I was up to this week. And then they get some comments, and it kind of feels like you're in touch with someone, but you're not. What I really have been pining for is the days of when I was in school, and social media did exist. When I was in school, I think Facebook was just starting to gain popularity. I remember being in like year 10, year 11, right at the end, and people had moved from MSN, Windows Live Messenger, to Facebook chat. And that was right at the end of school, so I finished up school in 2010. I really miss the days when it was way more simple. I know that I'm starting to sound like an old man, and I guess I'm 30 now, so I'm well on my way, but I just miss texting people. I realised that social media wasn't providing me with value anymore, and that if that isn't the way that I wanted to communicate with people, then I should get off the platform. I should be on the platform that I want to communicate with people, which is on my phone, texting, or on WhatsApp. I know that WhatsApp is also owned by Meta. One thing at a time, I'm just trying to get back to a place where like using my phone to communicate with people doesn't feel awful. It's the same reason that I deleted Twitter back in 2019, because it just wasn't providing me with value, and in a way I felt a bit smug watching it burn as who has had his takeover of that platform, and it's all sort of gone to shit. It was a bit of a cesspit anyways. Now it feels like it's really a cesspit. Now, the thing that I do think that I might miss a bit is the sort of interactions that I have with people that I'm not super close with. I worry that if I just text someone out of the blue that I only know a little bit well, they'll think, what's up? What does he want? This is a bit weird. Is he trying to fuck? So that is something that I think I'll miss, because it felt a lot more natural to have those kind of small interactions with people that I knew just a little bit on social media, because you'd reply to their story, or they'd reply to your story, or you'd send them a DM about something. It just felt much more casual than sending a text or a WhatsApp message. To send someone a message on WhatsApp or text, you've got to have their number, and I guess I could email people, but then also that feels like really formal now, because email's what you tend to use at work. I don't know. I've had a lot of thoughts about this. So I've been trying to consciously text people that I'm friends with more since I've deleted social media, and so far it's been fine. I've definitely had some FOMO and considered like, oh, what if I reinstalled it? And I'm like, no, at this point I've actually deleted my profiles. So I've not just disabled them, which is an option that Meta gives you to say, hey, you don't have to leave us completely. You could just disable it and have a break for a while, and you don't have to lose any of this. And I'm like, I considered that, but I was like, no, because that's just going to be another thing, that another avenue that I go down, and then I change my mind, and I'm like, oh, actually, I want to be on this again, and then I'll just be addicted again. I was just like, look, I feel like I just need to remove myself, make it so that I have no benefit from going back to this platform. If you go back, you've got to start again. So therefore, it doesn't, do you know what I mean? I just felt like I needed that clean break, so I deleted it. I deleted my Facebook, I deleted my Instagram, and I'm off of it. As I say, a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of like, oh, what are other people getting up to? You know, and feeling as though you're sort of missing out because you're not on this person's bulletin anymore. But as I say, I feel like that's just the illusion of communication. I'm not really in touch with these people, you know, if I'm not texting them, if I'm not calling them, if I'm not meeting up with them. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, as I say, there has definitely been a twinge to like rejoin, and that to me, almost when I notice that I'm feeling that way, that makes me think even more, no, I cannot go back now. Even after all this time, I'm still feeling like I want to hop back on and just a quick scroll. And you know, maybe it's not that bad to be scrolling. Maybe scrolling is something that we've like over vilified and made out to be like, oh, isn't it the worst thing ever that everyone's always on their phones, you know? And before, people always had their nose in the newspaper or in a book or something instead. But I don't know, it didn't make me feel good, and I thought it might help me feel like less anxious in general as well, which I haven't really thought about it. Maybe it has, I don't know. But I imagine this is going to get easier. Not that it's been particularly hard. I've just noticed that I've left social media, and I do feel a bit sad about it. I do feel like, I wish that there was a way that I could have been on this platform again. I spoke to some friends and they said there were some apps that you could install so that you didn't get served reels. But I don't know. I just feel like it was too far gone. If it's not reels, then they'll introduce something else that's more addictive, and I felt like in the long run, I will thank myself, and I'll probably read a hell of a lot more books because I'm off social media. So maybe I'll do another update in the future about how I am, but right now I'm off of Facebook, I'm off of Twitter, I'm off of Instagram, which in my head are the three big ones. And I'm pleased I've done it, although I do feel a bit sad about it. And there was a period about 10 years ago where I was in my early 20s, and I feel like I just made so many friends online. But when I think about it, it's like, yes, Instagram was probably the place where I DM'd people and exchanged messages and had proper conversations. Instagram and Twitter was back then. But where I actually met people was YouTube. That's where I first started commenting on people's videos, and then they started commenting on my videos. That's how I met Lena. That's how I met a bunch of my friends. So YouTube just feels more wholesome to me. It feels like, yes, there's a lot of shit on this platform, but it doesn't force feed it to you in the same way. I feel it's like, would you like this, rather than eat this shit and shut the fuck up, you know? It feels a lot more wholesome, and like I can control myself on this platform. Yes, I can waste a lot of time watching YouTube videos, but it doesn't feel like brain rot in the same way. And shorts on YouTube, I don't know. I don't think that they have the addictiveness that Instagram and TikTok do. I wasn't ever on TikTok, by the way. I never mentioned that at the beginning, but I was never on that. For the exact same reason, because I saw how addictive Instagram Reels were, and I was like, no, not for me, not like this. YouTube Shorts, I don't know. Maybe they're just a bit pants, but I don't feel like I get sucked into them in the same way. So yeah, I'm sad that it came to it, but I am best part off the grid now, I'd say. And I feel alright, you know? I feel alright about it. I feel like I might have inadvertently burnt some very, very small bridges as a result of doing it, but I hope that I will feel the benefits in the long term, and that I will read more books and watch more movies that fulfill me more, I guess. I think that's all I had to say. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next video, whenever that may be, and whatever that may be about.